chat. So welcome, guys. Welcome. As you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm at one of my favorite coffee places, Sada Coffee, in the Shy. Well, near the Shy, not really in it. I like to be specific because I don't want to steer y'all wrong. But there is something I need to admit. I used to think love was supposed to feel like a movie. I'm a sucker for rom-coms. It's one of my top 2 favorite genres. And like, rom-coms make you think like, if he really wanted me, he would chase me. If it was real, it would be dramatic. If he hurt me, it just meant he was confused, not wrong. And I didn't just come up with that on my own. Like, let's be honest. We as ladies were taught that through every 2000s rom-com, every late night movie, every he'll realize it in the end storyline. But what if I told you a lot of what we think is romance is actually emotional dysfunction dressed as like, a soundtrack? Because they give us some good soundtracks with these rom-coms. So I want to break that down and talk to you guys about it. Stay tuned. Let me give you guys a quick look though of my setting. So we're in just like a chill place. Grab your tea, your coffee, or something to eat, whatever. And we're gonna say hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to Joy Serendipity. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. You won't regret it. Are you back? Do you have your drink, your whatever? Let's jump right into it. So today we are unpacking something deeper than just movies. We are talking about, I hate how it's cracked. We are talking about 2000s rom-com, comedies quietly programmed us. How it programmed us to accept inconsistency, chase validation, and confuse chaos with chemistry. And I talk about that on all of my platforms a lot. And how those same storylines are showing up in our dating lives today. Whether it's subtle or it's like right out there. So the first thing I would say is the lie of relentless pursuits is what the movies teach us. One of the biggest tropes in these movies is relentless pursuits. The idea that if a man keeps chasing you, after you say no, after you pull away, after you set boundaries, they wanted us to think that was romantic. In a way it is, but not, In movies, persistence equals passion, but in real life, my opinion, persistence without respect is pressure. We were taught that, no doesn't really mean no, and boundaries are like obstacles for them to get over, to get what they want. And if he keeps coming back, that means you're special. But what it actually does is it normalizes emotional exhaustion. So you start thinking it's supposed to feel like convincing someone to choose you, and that is not love at all. I want you to remember that is not love at all. It's really you living in survival mode, and they're living in survival mode in a way as well. So that's the first thing I want to say about those tropes that they give us in the movies. Don't get me wrong, the movies are really good. Like, I love a good rom-com, but you have to take what the plots and the tropes are teaching us with a grain of salt and not directly apply it to your life. Like, be realistic. So another thing it teaches us is the fixable man. Like, it teaches us about that fantasy. So we're gonna talk about him. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The emotional and unavailable guy, the one with layers that you have to do so many things in order to get him to strip them down. The one who just needs the right woman to change him into this amazing guy. Like, on one of my platforms, I talked about what was the movie with Matthew McConaughey? It was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. He was known as this Casanova, like this charismatic person, and then it took Kate Hudson's character to change him into this newfound guy, even though she did have her own whatever. But yeah, 2000s rom-coms sold us the idea that love is transformation, and that if you're patient enough and soft enough and understanding enough, you can turn potential into reality. And here's the truth that no one told us. You are not a rehabilitation center for emotionally unavailable men. You hear so many older women teach us that. Please don't be that place where men come to get rehab in order to be fixed, and then they end up going off with another woman, because you don't usually stay with the woman who helps fix you. You take what it is, you drain her of her knowledge and her patience, and then now you're all fixed. You don't want to be stuck with the person who's seen you at your worst, so you go to the next person. You don't want to be that person. So yeah, that storyline creates a dangerous mindset. It's teaching you to ignore the red flags or overextend yourself for a guy, hoping he'll stay. It also teaches you to stay longer than you should, because you're waiting for your movie moment. But then when he finally, realizes his worth, in real life, the moment doesn't always come, or it comes at your dismay. And even worse, you lose yourself waiting for that moment to come. So definitely do not be that center for a guy to come to where he is finding himself, or a character development, because you'll end up hurt in the end. Another thing these movies teach us is that grand gestures equals consistency, when it's really grand gestures versus consistency. Like, let's talk about the airport scenes. The airport scenes are classic. The running through the rain, that's so romantic. The dramatic confessions, the last minute I can't live without you speeches after I just did you dirty throughout the first part of the movie. We were taught that love is proven in big moments, and what movies don't show us is the everything in between. They skip the inconsistency, they skip the confusion, they skip the emotional instability from the guy, and they jump straight into the climax in the movies. So now, in real life, we tolerate inconsistency as long as it ends in a grand gesture. Consistency will always matter more than intensity. And real love is never going to be loud. It's a safe place. It's steady. It brings out the most calm in you. It doesn't leave you guessing at all. I would say, let me try this, honestly, because I think it's cool by now. It's a hot biscotti cream latte. Taking a break, guys. With oat milk. So we're going to try it. Oh, that is good. Okay, back into it. So, these movies should also be an eye-opener to, chaos does not equal chemistry. Another thing that rom-com movies did, they made chaos look like connection. The arguing, the breaking up, the getting back together. I'm trying to, outside of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So what's another movie I would say? When Harry Meets Sally. There's so many movies. Blended. That was a good one. They showed miscommunication. They showed jealousy, emotional highs and lows, all framed as passion. So now, when something feels calm, we think, oh, it's boring. And, when something feels stable, we're questioning why it's so stable. And because we've been conditioned to associate love with emotional roller coasters, we just settle. But let me say this clearly: if it feels like anxiety, it's not chemistry. I would frame it as unpredictability, and your nervous system knows the difference, even if your heart is still catching up. So I would say that as well. But overall, the real impact of these movies on modern dating, and this is when everything is real, they followed us into situationships, talking stages, or one-sided relationships. We romanticize inconsistency. We are over-analyzing mixed signals. I know I've found myself doing that sometimes. We stay attached to the potential of someone. I've done that. I wasted so much of my time. And this was all while calling it love. It's not love. It was conditioning us to settle for less. We are taught to chase what should naturally choose us. So now the question becomes, what does unlearning all of this look like? To me, it looks like choosing clarity instead of that confusion that we've been taught. walking away without needing closure scenes. Sorry, I just got a text. Okay. Letting actions speak louder than words, and most importantly, understanding that love is not something you have to earn. It is something you experience with someone who's already aligned. So, look me in the eye. You do not have to choose dramatic endings. Okay? Don't choose that dramatic relationship. It should not be dramatic when starting it up. But if this resonated with you, I want you to comment, I choose real love. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join the journey of unlearning and healing and becoming and all the good things I talk about on my channel. We are creating something so much better. We're not living in movies anymore. But yeah, stay tuned. I love you guys.